but that's just because I wanted to take some time for me to catch up on a couple of things. Um, my videos have covered from the somewhat basics of network setup from scratch to firewalls to a little bit on VPNs, a little bit on Pi-hole, all that stuff. Now that I've done all of that, you should be able to see how, and assuming that you followed the stuff that I did step by step, you should see the benefit of running Pi-hole on your network, especially if you have kids, because you can filter out certain types of content that you would not want your kids exposed to. We've covered how to configure basic firewall configuration. We haven't, we've touched a little bit on the components of the network, things like that. The next, set of videos I'm going to cover in some detail on, the setting up a server to do whatever you want. It could be file storage, it could be, a home lab situation, which is what I've got going on here. And I'll be, sharing my home lab with you guys. Now, some people would say that you shouldn't do that because of the fact, classified, this, that, the other. However, it's a home lab, so there's no harm in seeing the physical, aspects of it. I won't share, the specific configuration that I'm using. However, I will, walk you through on how to set up your own home lab. Your home lab doesn't have to be as sophisticated as what mine is, and mine probably is not sophisticated by any means. So, in the home lab, we will be covering, MikroTik in detail. We'll be covering, several Ubiquiti devices. There's a couple of PoE switches we'll look at. There's a 24 port switch that we'll look at. These are all managed switches, by the way. And then we will cover a little bit on the network attached storage, which there is a wide variety of options out there. If you have a server rack, then I would take advantage of it and get a rack mount NAS if you wanted to. Or, there's other things that we can do if you do not want to go the route of getting a rack mount NAS. But we'll be covering just how the fiber is run in my home lab, how that was done. We'll basically, as you go through the next series of videos, if you follow along, you should be able to set up a home lab similar to what I have, but obviously different specifics to what your particular needs are. So like I said, we'll cover MikroTik's router OS. We'll cover I think that'll be the only additional piece of software we're looking at, other than a little bit on Ubiquiti, how to do some of that in more detail. So I believe that's all I'm going to do for tonight. This is just a real short, brief intro video on the upcoming series. Now, just for your guys' reference, I'm going to try to do upload videos at least 3 times a week. It'll be like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing, or something of that sort. And occasionally I might have an extra one in there, which is why I tell you guys always hit that bell so you know what's coming your way. I believe that is all for right now. So if y'all have any questions, just feel free to reach out and let me know, and I'll get y'all taken care of. Have a good night, everybody.